The Cleveland Cavaliers, without question, have to address the wing position this offseason. That may be most easily done through the upcoming NBA draft, where there figures to be a solid amount of quality wings available. They are currently slated to draft 20th overall, which ordinarily, wouldn't be anything to get too hyped over, but considering that this is a very good draft for depth, they have a really high chance of picking up a day one contributor. With that being the case, one of the prospects that might potentially fit that billing is Nikola Jurisic, the international wing out of Megabasket in Serbia. Offensively speaking, Jurisic offers a very intriguing skill set. At 6'7", he has prototypical positional size and looks the part of a modern-day wing. He has the tools to be a 3-level scorer at the NBA level. He's a tremendous slasher, despite not being a high-level athlete by NBA means, and will knife his way inside with the best of them. He often plays with the ball on a proverbial string and has a great feel for creating for himself off of the dribble. If I had to use one word to describe the way in which he produces his offense, it would probably be finesse. The young man is all finesse at this point, and he has a bevy of moves in his bag. There are the pump fakes, change of pace moves, pivots and spin moves, all of these aid Jurisic in getting to his spots and knocking down shots. The Megabasket product is capable of drawing a solid amount of contact inside on his drives to the rim, as evidenced by his 4.6 free throw attempts per game this season. In fact, his 119 total free throw attempts were 4th most in the ABA League First Division this year. He isn't necessarily the most efficient at the charity stripe at this point, as he currently has a free throw percentage of 76.2%, but I do expect this to be something that he improves upon as time goes on. His bread and butter is the mid-range. It is very common to see Jurisic hit his opponents with powerful jab steps, often creating enough space for him to attack, and even if his defender does a solid job of recovering, he has enough poise to break out the shot fake and use his body to will himself to 2 points. His high release point presents a very tough challenge for opposing defenses to overcome, and even if you prevent him from getting to where he wants to go, he is very comfortable shooting over the top of defenders. The patience and knowledge of angles he plays with is apparent, as he is able to use on-ball screens to get his defenders on his back often until he can determine where he can hit from, again often taking place within the mid-range. He doesn't have elite athleticism, but he certainly makes up for it with strong footwork and a good level of anticipation. Just watch him toy with his defender before he pumps them into oblivion. Nikola has outstanding vision and anticipation, especially as a live ball passer. He reads the floor, always seems to be in control, and tends to make defenses operate at his pace. And as a result, he is often seen setting up a defense right before picking them apart with timely dishes. He is a very talented facilitator who is capable of operating the pick and roll, where he can and will often attack his opponents with downhill drive to the basket. And upon these downhill drives to the cup, he has a knack for finding his teammates, whether they are rolling to the rim or out on the perimeter waiting for a chance to shoot the ball. And while he can make all sorts of standard caliber passes, the Megabasket product also plays with a certain flair and displays a willingness to take risks and make tough cross-court heaves or kick aheads on the fast break to find the open man. Kevin O'Connor of The Ringer compared him to that of Chandler Parsons, and honestly, it's not far off in my opinion. He just seems to always make the right pass or play. It's a big reason why he's logged the 16th most career assists in the ABA League First Division. He has potential to be sort of a point forward at the NBA level, and I'll be very interested to see if that becomes the case. There are some legitimate question marks on the other side of the ball though. So here's the thing. Nikola Jurisic has the potential to be a versatile on-ball defender. He likewise has the size to operate well as a help defender. The issue is focus. He can find himself out of position far too often in off-ball settings due to that lack of focus. You can see the high level of floor awareness that he has carries over to the defensive side of the ball. He can make plays defensively and turn them into strong sequences on both ends of the floor. Defense into offense, as the old saying goes. He has displayed a solid amount of recognition in terms of understanding what his defense is attempting to do and then disrupting things the opposing offense is trying to do by jumping passing lanes. He is capable of mucking things up. Now, as much as I like to keep saying positive things about Nikola Jurisic, this wouldn't necessarily be a true breakdown if I didn't include at least a few of his very real weaknesses. After all, there is no such thing as a perfect prospect. Everyone comes in with something that needs improvement, and he is no different. And with that in mind, I'm sure you've noticed that I have not discussed his abilities as a shooter. a skill that any prospect the Cleveland Cavaliers select must have at some level in his skill set. Any wing they take has to be able to shoot the ball. End of discussion as far as I'm concerned. This, frankly, Cleveland faithful, is what stands out the most about his game, and not in a positive way necessarily. He's a very streaky shooter and an inefficient one at that. Over the course of 33 games this season, Duricic completed 32.5% of his three-point opportunities according to RealGM.com's tracking. He has moments where he can catch fire, like his 5 of 8 detonation on March 31st against KK Split, and he can very similarly go on a hot streak over the course of a few games, like he did from March 25th to April 15th. A stretch spanning 4 games in which he knocked down 12 of his 23 attempts, good for 52.1%. He could just as easily experience an icy cold streak, however, much like he did from January 14th through February 6th, another 4-game stretch in which he went an embarrassing 1 of 16 from 3-point distance. Duricic is as up and down as a shooter as they come, honestly. He can get hot even while taking contested jumpers, which is a skill that teams would probably pay for in a high amount on the free agent market. The issue is consistency. How consistent can he be? He's made over 46.3% of his threes over his last 10 games on decent volume at 4.1 attempts per game. Shooting will be what ultimately ends up making or breaking his NBA career as of now. He has very fluid mechanics and has the potential to become an efficient and consistent shooter, but he needs a lot, and I mean a lot, of work in this area. He isn't an especially good rebounder for his size, pulling down just 2.9 per game this season. The Cavs will definitely want to pair him with a true rebounding presence in the front court at all times. And while he is a high-level playmaker, Duricic can also be a little too careless with the basketball. No doubt the result of being so fearless in that regard. It has resulted in him averaging 3.2 turnovers per game this season, which led his team in that category. Overall, Nikola Duricic is a very intriguing prospect. He has the skill set of a point forward, can get his own shot despite not showcasing immense athleticism, and has displayed his potential as a shooter. The 3-point shot, however, is a work in progress, which could ultimately leave him out of the first round. I've seen him going anywhere from the mid-20s to late 50s. However, in my opinion, the skills and upside outweigh the production here. Time will tell where he lands. Go Cavs!